Hey there, Looky Loos. I'm Ashley Quinn, and I'm back to ask, did y'all see that?
We know each other bull is like, okay, put up with it or let it go at some point, right?
I'm sorry. It just
I guess
he
my
always.
hair, and my hair is.
What is your problem?
I know y'all saw that. We're back with Marriage Boot Camp Hip Hop Edition, season 16, episode 1, and this is where we're going to meet our couples. This time around, we have 4 couples, and we're introduced to Miles and Amber first. Now, many of you may recognize Miles and Amber from Love and Hip Hop. They were on there, and their storyline was that they had been dating for a long time. I believe they're like childhood sweethearts, and Miles was coming out to let Amber know that he was bisexual and that he was in a relationship with a young man. I believe his name was Christopher Milan. Anyway, flash forward 6 years later, and they're still having the same argument. Miles feels that his bisexuality was just a phase, and basically just because he chopped down a tree doesn't necessarily make him a lumberjack. Amber, on the other hand, is still feeling embarrassed from his revelation, and she is using DV in the form of physical, emotional, and verbal abuse to release her frustration. So we do see her lashing out a lot. Next up, we are introduced to Monie Love and her husband, Tough. Now, we all know Monie Love from just hip hop fame. She's one of the pioneers of the female rap movement, and she's married to a gentleman named Tough, who is 12 years her junior. Now, one of the issues that they say that they're having is infidelity and the fact that he cheated on her when she was pregnant. And I believe that she's still not over that. So we're going to see how they're able to work through this. And keep in mind, they've been together, I believe they said, for 14 years. So fingers crossed. Next couple up, we have Molly Mall and Treasure, another couple from Love and Hip Hop. Now, Molly Mall is an award-winning hip-hop producer, and we have Treasure, who is a dancer. We remember them from Love and Hip Hop. I don't remember what city it was. It may have been Los Angeles, I believe. Anyway, these two have been together on and off since 2017, and they're in a long-distance relationship. They said that their issues have to do with a power struggle. Molly Mall feels like because he makes all the money and he has all the celebrity that he should be in charge of everything. Molly says that Treasure is an emotional drunk, basically. She gets drunk, she starts crying, and just turns into a big old mess. And I kind of pick up the feel that he doesn't like that. He likes to be in control of everything all the time. So let's see how this works out for them. Last up, we have what they would term hip-hop royalty. We have Nori and his wife, Neri. Now, you may have just seen Nori and his wife, Neri, over on Love and Hip Hop, Miami, I believe it is. Well, they're over here now at Marriage Boot Camp, and their main issue appears to be that Nori is very misogynistic. He feels like because he makes all the money that he shouldn't have to do anything else, and Neri doesn't feel that way. She's looking for him to help her out more with the household things. Now, I would like to say that of all the couples, these two actually seem like they could benefit the most from the help from Dr. Ish and from Judge Toller. So I'm really interested in seeing where they go. Now, we get all the couples together, everyone's in the house, and they're finally all sitting around in the living room, and Amber's boob is out. Like, nobody's gonna tell her, like, Miles, you're just gonna sit there and let her be out there like that. But, you know, hey, whatever, he's probably not even looking. So we get there, and then we see that they're just like, they get it started early, right? So everybody's kind of asking each other, like, why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you here? And Brock brings up how, oh yeah, Sir Brock is the other name that Miles goes by. And he brings up how they want to have a baby by the end of the year. And Amber's like, whoa, no, we're here to find out about your sexuality by the end of the year. And I'm just kind of like, no, he knows what his sexuality is. You just don't accept that. So the argument's getting kind of heated. The other couples are getting really uncomfortable. And like I said, that abusive side to her personality is starting to come out. The two of them together, off top, hella toxic. But then we're saved by the bell. and everybody gets up and they go to head outside, and this is where we finally get to see Dr. Ish, and they have some type of marriage boot camp dating show, game show there, and that game show is called, what is it, the Marriage Boot Camp Dating Game. So everybody's able to ask questions, and we get to find out things about the couples. And right after that, they switch the game, and then they call it the Marriage Boot Camp Hating Game, where they get to see some of the not so nice things that their partner had to say, or the not so comfortable things that their partner had to say about them and the relationship. Now, once we go here, it totally turns into the Amber and Miles show. And now at this point, I'm really like, why are they together? Like, why are they even together? Like, this doesn't even make any sense, right? Like, there's zero respect. She doesn't respect him. He borderline doesn't respect her. They say the most horrible things to each other. And I just can't imagine, like, wanting to be in the presence of either one of them, tell the truth. What we're kind of starting to see is that there's really no love between the two of them. There's really just a familiarity. They say that they've been together for 20 years. You guys have been friends, basically, for 20 years. This is somebody that you went to school with. This is somebody that you've known, like I said, out of familiarity. I really don't think that there's any love there between the two of them, and it seems like this show was like a money grab for them, either a money grab or a clout grab or something, because as you see, we haven't seen them on TV for the past 6 years. But either way, it's very embarrassing. Here's the thing. When it comes to Amber, what she's doing is she's making his sexuality about her ego. She can't accept the fact that he's not into women, and she thinks that it has something to do with her, and it doesn't. And the way that she talks to him is, God, I just feel so bad for that man. And immediately after that, Miles just storms off. So we get Miles back just in time for room assignments. And so they assign the rooms based on the couple situation. So in the train wreck station, clearly we have Amber and Miles. In the control room, we have Molly and Treasure. In the cheater's chamber, we have Moni and Tuff. And then in the petty penthouse, we have Nori and Neri. Once they get their room assignments, we head over and we have dinner. And this is where the hits the fan, okay? Let's see. Amber, once again, she's being abusive. At dinner time, like, she's like yelling at him. She like smacks his hat off his head. And she's just out of control, like out of control. And Miles showed so much restraint, just so much restraint. He storms off. She chases after him. She's hitting him. She's following him down. At one point, she backs him into a corner. Now, we have Dr. Ish and Judge Toller watching all of this happening. And at one point, they're just like, look, enough is enough. And they go out there to break it up. So when they go out there to break it up, Dr. Ish is talking to Amber. And Amber literally had the nerve to say to Dr. Ish that it's Miles' fault because he brings out the monster in her. And Dr. Ish let her know that she's a grown woman and she's in total control of how she responds to situations. And he's absolutely right. She doesn't want to take any accountability for why she's in this situation. Just let it go. If this is not your character, but this is how somebody is making you act, and this is what somebody is bringing out of you, then that's probably not the person that you want to be with. I mean, come on, just use like a little common sense. Is it really worth going to jail? You have a daughter, you have all of these things, I guess, going on for you. And when they were talking to Miles, like, the thing that Miles feels the worst about is that she's doing this to him in front of cis straight men, right? And it's got to be very embarrassing because he's already seems to be struggling with coming to terms with his masculinity and his bisexuality. And I really do think that that's probably why he hasn't just gone and just popped all the way off on Amber like he should, because he doesn't want to be seen as being feminine or being like that type of gay man, okay? And yeah, it's just really hard to watch, and I don't see any hope for them. I just think they would probably be better off getting individual therapy and then maybe coming back together and being friends later. So after this horrific situation, we move on, and then we see Treasure's at the dinner table, and now we get to see exactly what Molly was talking about. This girl's sitting here and she's telling us how she wants to be a good Southern girl and she wants to take care of her man and this, that, and the other, and she's from Dallas. And then she just started crying. I mean, like, full on crying, like scary crying. Like, I would have left the room because I'm like, oh, nah, next she about to start stabbing people. Like, that's the only logical thing that's left in this illogical situation. So we do get to see a little bit of what Molly's talking about as far as her drinking and her emotional outburst there. Now we have everybody are starting to separate. They're starting to get their rooms assignments, and they're going to go check everything out. Nori was just like, man, she double crying, and that tickled me. So as they're looking for their rooms and they're going to the rooms, once again, here we go with Amber and Miles. Okay, so all I heard was he literally said to her, like, you're the reason why I mess with guys. And I'm just like, whoa, everybody in this situation is so confused. Like, sir, it's not her fault, but it's that level of toxicity where they look for the worst thing that they can say to cut each other the deepest. And clearly they would know how to do that because they've been around each other for the past 20 years. But they're driving everybody in the house crazy, and they're driving me crazy too. So I wish they would just cut it out, right? So now we have Dr. Ish is talking to Molly and Treasure. And Dr. Ish brings up a point, and they do look really uncomfortable together. I would really venture to say that this is for the check. You know, not too long ago, like, Molly was, like, in trouble for, like, sex trafficking and moving girls from place to place, I guess. Not necessarily girls as an underage, but women. And, like, his relationship with Treasure does seem very, how do you say this? Employer-employee, manager-talent. Okay, I don't really see that he's very interested in her. He doesn't really seem like he's interested in her. He wasn't interested in being in close quarters with her. And I mean, like, if this is your girl and, you know, you've been together since 2017 and you have a long distance relationship, you guys are finally together. I don't think it would matter how close you guys are as far as space and quarters. I would think the closer the better. But hey, that's just me. So we get into the end of the show, and the show is closing, and Treasure's just, like, drunk out of her mind. Like, somebody need to get this girl some milk, some coffee, some tea, a Xanax, something. She's out of control. She's singing, she's twerking, and everybody in the house can hear it. Molly's embarrassed, but he doesn't know how to, like, reel her in, or he doesn't care to reel her in. So this show is really, so far it's kind of interesting. Like I said, we're just checking out what's going on with these couples, kind of getting that introduction to them. One thing I want to say is, I think I said it earlier, but I really do have a lot of hope for Nori and Neri, and I would like to see them get it together. As far as the other couples, I don't really feel that Treasure and Molly are a real couple, so I don't know that I have an opinion on if they should stay together or shouldn't stay together. Moni and Tough, if the infidelity situation happened 14 years ago and she's still hurt and harping on it like it happened yesterday, and here's the thing, she has every right, because you don't get to tell people how they feel. However, if you haven't been able to get over it in all of this time, I don't know, and you can only imagine the things they've said to each other over the past 14 years, and you have to wonder, is there really any coming back from that? Miles and Amber. Right. So one thing very poignant that I think Judge Toller said is that it's not that these people are looking for answers, because they have the answers that they need. They just don't like the answers that they receive. And so they continue on and on and on with it. And I really thought that that was a very good point, a very poignant statement. And I guess we'll wait and see what happens in episode 2. Thank you for sticking it out with me. I'm Ashley Quinn, and I'll see you for something else next time. Bye.